Before the rainbow, the world stood at the edge of judgment. Violence filled the earth, and human hearts had turned far from God. But one man still walked faithfully with his Creator. His name was Noah, and his obedience would preserve life. God would cleanse the earth, but he would provide a way of rescue. This is Noah's Ark, the flood, the faith, and God's promise. Generation after generation multiplied, but wickedness multiplied with them. Quarrels became cruelty, and cruelty became violence. God saw what humanity had become, and he was deeply grieved. Yet Noah lived differently from the world around him. He chose faith when others chose rebellion. Noah was a husband, a father, and a man who trusted God. His sons were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Each had a wife, forming the household God would preserve. They could not yet see the storm that would change everything. Then God spoke to Noah with a warning he could not ignore.
The earth has become filled with violence and corruption. Judgment is coming upon the earth. Build for yourself an ark from strong wood.
The vessel would be unlike anything Noah had ever constructed. It would contain rooms and 3 enormous levels. Its wooden walls would be sealed carefully with pitch. A huge entrance would be built into its side.
Floodwaters will come upon the earth, but I will establish my covenant with you.
Noah was commanded to preserve animals within the ark. He was also told to gather food for every living creature. Noah had never witnessed the catastrophe God described, yet he obeyed before he could see the evidence. Trees were cut, and enormous wooden beams were prepared. Noah and his sons worked beneath the burning sun. Slowly, the skeleton of the giant vessel rose. Beam by beam, the impossible began taking shape. The ark grew taller than the people watching it. Still Noah continued, trusting the one who had spoken. At last, the great ark was ready. Then something extraordinary began to happen. Animals began appearing from across the land. Birds filled the sky above the waiting vessel. Large and small, they came according to their kinds. Noah's family watched in amazement as they approached. The animals entered through the great doorway. Soon, every level echoed with the sounds of life. Then God told Noah and his family to enter. 8 people walked together into the enormous vessel. For 7 days, they waited inside. Then the door was shut. The time of warning was over. The sky darkened. The wind began to rise. Then the first drops of rain struck the earth. Within moments, the rain became a relentless downpour. Water surged across the ground around the ark. Rivers overflowed, and valleys disappeared beneath the water. Inside, Noah's family heard thunder shaking the wooden walls. The flood rose higher and higher. Finally, the enormous vessel lifted from the ground. The ark was carried upon the waters. For 40 days and 40 nights, rain covered the earth. Hills disappeared. Then even mountains vanished beneath the flood. The world Noah had known was gone. He could not control where the vessel would go. He could only trust the God who had brought them there. Days became weeks inside the wooden refuge. Every creature depended upon Noah's family for care. Outside was destruction. Inside, life had been preserved. And then, after so much rain, came silence. Scripture says that God remembered Noah. A wind passed over the earth. Slowly, the waters began to fall. Month after month, the water level continued decreasing. Eventually, the ark came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat. But Noah did not rush outside. He waited while mountaintops appeared around them. Then Noah opened the window of the ark. First, Noah released a raven over the waters. It flew back and forth across the changing world. Next, Noah sent out a dove. It searched for somewhere dry to rest. But it found none and returned to the ark. Noah gently brought the bird back inside. He waited 7 more days. Then he released the dove once again. All day, Noah watched and waited. That evening, the dove returned. In its beak was a freshly plucked olive leaf. Noah knew the waters were finally disappearing. 7 days later, Noah sent the dove out again. This time, it did not return. Noah removed the covering and saw the drying earth. Still, Noah waited until God told him to leave.
Come out of the ark with your family.
Noah stepped onto dry ground after the long flood. Then every creature followed into the renewed world. Noah's first response was gratitude and worship. God established his covenant with Noah and every living creature. And God placed the sign of his promise in the clouds. The storm had ended, and beneath the rainbow, a new beginning began. When the clouds return, remember the promise beyond the storm.